Hi, I'm Mei Li. I was raised by my grandmother. We moved to the US from China when I was 5. Grandma opened a Chinese souvenir shop near our house. Her small business was struggling because Grandma refused to promote her store online. A wanderer will always find the way. Oh, Grandma was always quoting things like that. She meant that customers would find our shop without any ads if it's what they truly needed. Grandma didn't know anything about business. It's no wonder we hardly ever had customers. She also practiced traditional Chinese medicine. Our customers would pay for massages and buy aromatic candles or herbal ointments. It was so last century. I wanted Grandma to be in touch with the new trends, but she was as stubborn as a mule. There are no smiles without tears. There is no future without the past, sweetheart. Even I didn't know what Grandma meant by that. So I rolled my eyes and I went to college. I was a freshman and I was going to become a first-class business coach. My head was full of brilliant ideas. At college, I ran into my best friend Nadine in a hallway. She seemed miserable and looked as bad as leftover pizza. I immediately realized what had happened. Did you get dumped again? Yeah, we were sitting in a cafe. He left to make a phone call and he didn't come back. What's wrong with me? You must have talked about your favorite dramas all evening again and scared the poor guy off. I told my friend to quit acting like an oddball. She'd be so popular if she just wasn't such a weirdo. Yeah. What would I do without your sage advice, Mei Li? Oh, I have an idea. Let's go shopping. I'll help you choose a new look, and all the guys will be pining for you. Nadine looked around nervously and handed me a booklet. You should go there instead. Apparently, a prestigious company was looking for an intern. My eyes lit up immediately. That part-time job was my chance to tell people about my business ideas. The pay was good too. I thanked my friend. After classes, I Googled that company and found out its owner was a stern old man called Mr. Big. I had no doubt that they would take me on as an intern. However, when I came to the interview, I saw dozens of candidates. I was afraid my resume wouldn't stand out. Then, I overheard some employees talking about a charity event that was going to take place that evening. Oh, great! I'll find Mr. Big and impress him. I came back home, and Grandma asked me to order dragon figurines for her shop. After all, she was bad with technology. But I had a better idea. I ordered cool bunny-shaped lamps to make her shop look a little bit more modern. Done. Oh, you're a lifesaver, Mei Li. Later, I came to the charity event of Mr. Big's company, and I tried to find him in the crowd to show him my resume, but he was nowhere to be seen. Then, a gorgeous guy in an expensive suit bumped into me. He accidentally spilled a drink on my resume. Hey, watch where you're going! You ruined my resume! While I was yelling at the guy, a bodyguard ran up to us and tried to shield him from me.
Are you all right, boss? Should I kick this psycho out?
Do that before she scares away all the guests.
Right away, Mr. Big.
Wait, Mr. Big? Did you drink the elixir of youth? It turned out that guy's name was Henry, and the founder of the company was his grandfather who was sick. So that's who I needed to impress. I immediately started listing all my brilliant business ideas, but it was too late. The bodyguard started dragging me toward the door, while Henry was smirking and looking after me with interest.
Get lost, and don't you show up here again.
I was thrown out into the street and trudged home. It seems I wouldn't be getting the internship after all. Then I saw Nadine walking into a clothing store and immediately followed her. Hey, Nadine, didn't we agree that I would help you choose your new clothes? The last time you shopped without me, you bought that dumb SpongeBob t-shirt. My friend mumbled that she was there to get a job. I squinted at her suspiciously. Are you really? Yeah, honest. You know how much I, value your advice. I didn't believe her, but I wished her good luck anyway, and I went home. As soon as I walked in, Grandma started scolding me and ruined my mood. Mei Li, why did you lie to me? This isn't what I asked you to order. Trending products will bring in customers. You disappointed me, sweetheart. She shook her head and left. I wanted to rip my hair out. All I wanted was to help. Why wouldn't anyone listen to my advice or my great ideas? Before going to bed, I squeezed my eyes shut and I made a wish. Please let everyone start listening to me. Did my wish come true? Stay tuned to find out. I decided to stop by Grandma's shop before leaving for school the next morning. Imagine my surprise when Henry suddenly walked out of it. What are you doing here? And don't say you wanted to buy something. I'm not going to believe you. He smiled mysteriously and said it wasn't anything serious. Yeah, right. Henry Big was handsome and rich, the dream of any girl. But I wasn't about to forget he'd ordered his bodyguard to kick me out anytime soon. I was about to walk past him with my head held high, but to my surprise, he called out my name. Mei Li, wait, I liked some of your ideas yesterday, but they won't work for my company. However, I felt a spark between us. Wait, are you, flirting with me? He said I had caught his interest because no one had ever dared talk to him so boldly before. Then, he asked me out on a date to the most expensive restaurant in the city. I promised not to spill anything on you this time. I'm not gonna lie, I was flattered. Of course, I agreed to dinner. The date went great. Henry treated me like a queen. I fell head over heels in love with him, and we became an item. One day, I was coming home from school and decided to stop by Henry's office. As the head of the company, he spent a lot of time there. I came up to the building and saw Henry's bodyguard throwing some poor guy out onto the street.
I better not see you here again.
Hey, you can't treat people like that.
Relax, Maylee. Oliver is our competitor. That scumbag snuck into the office to steal classified documents.
Oh, I stared after Oliver as he ran away and then went to my boyfriend's office. To be honest, I liked watching Henry work. He effortlessly decided which stocks to invest in, quickly dealing with any issues and ruthlessly choosing who to fire. Not to brag, but he could give any top-notch businessman a run for their money. I didn't give up, and I kept suggesting all sorts of brilliant ideas. Henry, I know how to increase revenue without firing anyone. No offense, but Grandpa entrusted the management of the company to me. I know how to do it better than anyone, and I don't need your help. Even though his words pissed me off, I could see that he was on edge. Lately, he looked exhausted and often had headaches. Are you okay? Something's clearly bothering you. I've got everything under control, Maylee. Don't worry. That was hard to believe. One day, I saw Henry sneaking out of Grandma's shop again. Curiosity got the better of me, and I asked Grandma why my boyfriend kept visiting her shop. To my annoyance, she spoke in riddles again. Ignorance is bliss, Maylee. Dang it. Being kept in the dark sucked. I decided to get to the bottom of it and went to Henry's office. On the way there, I ran into Oliver. He was sitting with his wife and children on the sidewalk and crying. I know that it's none of my business, but what's wrong?
Oh, I know you. You're my worst enemy's girlfriend.
Thank you for standing up for me back then. He told me he used to own a small company and be happy until Henry had ruined him. I wanted to ask him to save my business, but his bodyguard kicked me out. Now we'll lose all of our money and even our house. Those poor things. I thought it was unfair, and I promised to help Oliver's family. When I walked into Henry's office, he looked ill and was drinking medicine. I was sick and tired of being fed lies. So I demanded he tell me the truth about his condition. Henry rubbed his temples and finally came clean. Ever since Grandpa handed over the management of the company to me, I've been under pressure, dealing with all these problems and competitors. It's really stressed me out. I suffer from migraines and insomnia. It turned out my grandmother was treating Henry with traditional medicine. The puzzle pieces finally fit together. I knew exactly what would make him feel better. I just saw Oliver. His family ended up on the streets. You should go easier on your competitors. Be kinder and do business fairly. The guilt will stop eating at you and you won't suffer from insomnia anymore. He thought about it and agreed to give it a try. You're right. My grandfather probably fell ill because he was so tough of a boss. Henry agreed to follow my advice. My wish really had come true. Someone was listening to me. And that was just the beginning. I met Nadine in college and didn't even recognize her at first. My friend looked stunning. Maylee, thank you for your fashion tips. I met a guy I really like, and thanks to you, I'm sure he'll fall for me as soon as he sees me. Go get your prince, Nadine. I was walking on air because I was right once again. There was another pleasant surprise waiting for me at home. Granny put her outdated shop up for sale and decided to become a blogger. Hi, sweetheart. You were right. I was acting like an old fart, but now I'll keep up with the times and become the most popular old lady in the world. I had been waiting for her to say that for years. Everyone was finally listening to my amazing advice, and I was on cloud 9. Soon, Henry turned from a tough boss into a cute guy. He became kinder, started journaling, and even hired Oliver. I couldn't be prouder of my Poochie Poo. Maylee, thank you for helping me change. I'm feeling much better. Let's go on a date tonight and celebrate. Sorry, but I can't. I'm going to listen to a lecture about karma with a new friend of mine. I had a bad feeling about this. No one was allowed to steal my boyfriend. Still, I trusted Henry, so I tried to ignore my suspicions. That was the moment my life went off the rails. It all began when I came back home and Grandma wasn't there. She didn't answer the phone either. Huh. I looked for her until our neighbors told me the terrible news. Your grandmother started acting like a teenager and skating around the mall. Everyone thought she'd lost it, so she was taken to a mental hospital. What? That wasn't what I meant when I told her to keep up with the times. I was at a loss and I didn't know how to help Grandma, so I called Nadine and I asked her for help. I'm on a date with the guy of my dreams right now. Oh, fine. Come over here, we'll figure it out together. Thank you. My friend sent me the address of a cafe and I hurried over there. Weirdly enough, that was the cafe my boyfriend was supposed to be at. I walked in and saw Nadine flirting with Henry. Was she that new friend of his? I grabbed my friend's hand and I pulled her aside. What the hell are you doing? Huh? I'm just following your advice and hitting on a millionaire. Henry is my boyfriend. For now. OMG. I created a monster. Henry's bodyguard called me and said we were screwed.
Maylee, what did you do to the boss? He's gone gone off the rails. Now he's so kind he's lost control of the company. We're losing revenue and our competitors have lost all sense of fear.
It turned out that Oliver had stolen classified documents and run away. The company was hanging by a thread. What had I done? My advice ruined everyone's lives. I tried to get Henry to come back to his senses, snap out of it, and take back control of your company. Mei Li, I don't care about money anymore. I want to feed on sunlight.
He had his head up his butt, and trying to reason with him was useless. What was I supposed to do? My head was spinning. I called Henry's grandfather and I told him everything. He sure had some lungs on him. What? How could my moron of a grandson destroy my company? I spent my entire life building it.
It's all my fault.
Yes, it is, you naive fool. The CEO needs to be tough and decisive. Oliver has been trying to steal the company's classified documents for years. He used your kindness to trick you.
What should I do now? Your grandson is obsessed with karma. He's meditating in a cafe as we speak. Mr. Big thought for a while, but then he said he knew where to find Oliver.
I'm recovering my health in Bali, but since the situation is dire, I will come back with my ninja bodyguards and get the classified documents back.
There's no time for that. I'll do it myself. Henry's grandpa sent me Oliver's address, and I ran there as fast as I could. I wanted to break his door down and shout, "Give back what you stole, you bastard!" But then I saw Henry walking out of Oliver's house. He was holding the missing documents and looked as put together as usual. How did you get here faster than me? I used a magical device called a car. Never heard of it? Haha. Wow, you're hilarious. What the hell is going on? Relax. I've already got the documents back and I dealt with Oliver. I knew he couldn't be trusted. He acted all pathetic and innocent to get us to trust him and steal the company's secrets. Henry admitted that he had been pretending too. I'm sorry for pranking you like this. The thing is, I wanted to show you that even the best advice can be harmful. I wanted to slap the living daylights out of my boyfriend for making me look like a moron, but I didn't have time for that. I still had to get my grandma out of a mental hospital. However, the next second, she appeared out of nowhere. Nadine was standing next to her in one of her weird outfits. Don't tell me that you were a part of this. I'm afraid we were. We were tired of all of your unsolicited advice and teamed up to teach you a lesson. It was nuts. I got pissed off and said I would never talk to any of them again. A few days passed, and then Nadine approached me at college. Mei Li, I do want to thank you. You were right about one thing. It was dumb of me to only talk about my own interests on dates. I listened to your advice, and I won a guy's heart. I couldn't stay mad at my friend for long, so I congratulated her and I hugged her. When I got home, there was a crowd of people in Grandma's shop. She also came up to me to make up. Mei Li, you were right about some things. I promoted our shop online, and now we have no end to the customers. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you earlier. I apologized for being too persistent, and we hugged. At that moment, Henry came over. He also admitted that I had been right about something. I should have been kinder and fairer. Now that I have a clear conscience, I'm no longer suffering from insomnia. In the end, I made up with my boyfriend too. Grandma showed us a yin and yang statuette. It's a symbol of harmony in Chinese philosophy. Without sadness, there can be no joy. Without evil, there would be no good. Everything should be done in moderation. That includes giving friendly advice. That's the secret of happiness. Thank you, Grandma. Now I get it. I also realized that sometimes our dreams come true in really unexpected ways. You should also be careful what you wish for. Just when I thought things were looking up, Mr. Big burst in with his ninjas.
I'm back. It's time to deal with the competitors.
Mei Li, mind explaining what my grandfather is doing here? Oops. Guys, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It seems like I have some explaining to do.